We return to a world lost to time, to a place the world has nearly forgotten, where people lived quietly, and time moved gently. Take a deep breath, and let the present fade as we step into another time. Tonight, we explore 300 quiet moments from history. In a distant age, the world was a very different place. In a gentle valley nestled between soft hills, ancient Greece began slowly waking. The sun rose steadily, casting warm light over olive trees in calm rows. White stone cottages stood quietly with their small gardens full of herbs. Inside, families stirred with the faint sound of wooden clogs on stone floors. Morning air was fresh, filled with the sweet scent of thyme and oregano. Aromatic smoke from hearth fires mingled with the earth's mellow embrace. Women moved with measured grace, tending clay pots filled with simmering stew. Children's laughter drifted faintly, mixing with the gentle calls of distant shepherds. Smoke rose in thin wisps from chimneys as households prepared their first meal. The warmth of fresh bread waited beside amphorae filled with pale golden oil. Olive oil was prized, pressed tenderly, and saved for cooking and light. The distant chatter of neighbors created a steady, comforting murmur outside. Farmers checked grapevines, their hands brushing leaves with patient care. Soft breezes carried the rustle of wheat swaying under the clear blue sky. Cats lounged lazily on sunlit stones, their tails flicking in quiet contentment. The village well stood calm, gathering cool water from a deep, steady spring. Young boys watched at the edge of the olive grove, picking fallen fruit with care. The aroma of fresh figs mingled with the faint hint of sea salt in the air. Slow footsteps trod the earthen lanes where small dogs padded alongside their owners. The clinking of simple tools in workshops blended with a neighbor's hum. In open courtyards, voices rose in light songs, the melodies soft and warm. Clay pots turned steadily on slow wheels, shaping vessels for water and wine. Faint dust danced in shafts of sun that filtered through woven reed shades. Herbs hung from wooden beams, drying gently in the still, warm air. The distant hum of bees added a tender buzz to this peaceful morning. Women swept floors with straw brooms, their movements steady and repetitive. Fishermen gathered quietly at the shore, checking nets beside calm waters. Faint waves lapped gently against small wooden boats tied with frayed ropes. Birds traced slow circles in the sky, their calls mellow and soothing. Shadows lengthened gently as the day's warmth grew, touching every corner with grace. Smooth stones marked paths worn soft by generations of barefoot travelers. Bundles of dried wheat and barley rested in the cool, sheltered storehouses. The village baker's oven glowed steadily, its heat a warm promise for the day. Wood smoke mingled with fragrant herbs, held softly in the quiet air. By the fountain, A woman filled an urn with steady hands, her face calm. Nearby, a child held a small clay cup, watching water ripple with tender eyes. The stillness between footsteps felt like a whispered secret, shared with the earth. As morning faded toward noon, the village moved in peaceful, measured rhythms. Quiet conversations echoed softly, filled with friendly greetings and gentle smiles. The open sky stretched endlessly, a calm blanket over olive groves and fields. In shaded nets, drying figs hung slowly, their sweetness intensifying under the sun. A shepherd's flute played faint tunes that drifted over quiet valleys and hills. Bees visited wildflowers, their busy movements steady but never hurried. Vessels of wine rested on wooden shelves, cool and patient in darkened rooms. Families gathered around low tables, breaking bread and sharing olives and cheese. The warmth of companionship filled stone walls with a tender, intimate glow. In the afternoon, women sat weaving cloth, their fingers moving with calm precision. The soft scratch of shuttle on loom blended with children's breaths and quiet hums. Old men rested under shaded trees, their eyes reflecting soft memories of past days. A gentle breeze carried the faint scent of salt from distant, calm shores. Village life pulsed gently, like the steady beat of a composed melody. The colors of ripe figs, golden wheat, and olive leaves glistened warmly in the sun. Soft discussions spread around the market square as vendors arranged fruits and spices. Fresh vegetables lay in baskets, ripe and ready, their hues muted in gentle shade. Stall holders exchanged tender words, their voices low and filled with lasting friendship. Sunlight filtered through vine-covered trellises, dappling tables resting from midday heat. A quiet dog slumbered near a stone wall, breathing slowly in the serene afternoon. The scent of baking bread soon returned. Smooth jars of honey and sharp goat cheese rested side by side in cool shadows. Olive branches were bound into small bundles, ready for later use in kitchens. The air was warm but mild, filled with a delicate hum of life at peace. Let us now drift toward the quiet shores of a small coastal town. Salt air mingled with the muted cry of seagulls above gentle, lapping waves. Fishermen's boats lay still, moored to wooden piers under the mellow afternoon sun. Small nets hung to dry, their threads catching faint light like soft ribbons. Seashells glistened faintly along the sandy beach, resting under calm skies. Children built tiny castles near the water's edge, their hands molding wet sand. Clamshells and seaweed dotted the shore, treasures found in the hushed tide pools. On shore, simple stalls offered slender fish and ripe lemons, fresh from the sea. Sailboats drifted lazily on the horizon, their white sails folded like gentle feathers. The salty breeze carried the faint scent of baked fish wrapped in fig leaves. Wooden buckets stood ready to carry the day's catch to quiet kitchens. Seagulls fluttered intermittently, their wings tracing slow arcs against blue skies. Old fishermen sat tranquilly on rocks, mending nets with experienced and steady hands. The light shimmered softly on waves that kissed the shore with tender whispers. Behind the pier, small gardens grew amid stone paths, full of blooming herbs. This peaceful town embraced the rhythms of salt, sun, and sea at rest. Evening clouds began to gather slowly, painting the sky with deep, serene hues. Let us now drift gently to the warmth of a baker's morning. The scent of warm dough stirred the heart of the village early each day. In a humble room, flour-dusted wooden tables like soft morning frost. Hands kneaded gently, folding dough with steady and deliberate care. Rising bread was covered with clean cloth, resting quietly near the hearth. The fire crackled softly, its glow warm and sedate behind a stone wall. Wooden peels awaited their turn to slide bread slowly into the glowing oven. Sweet steam rose gently as loaves baked, filling the air with comfort. Neighbors gathered softly outside, drawn by the faint promise of fresh bread. A cat prowled nearby, interested in the quiet bustle of early hours. The baker's wife carefully measured honey from a golden jar, adding it slowly. Olives were crushed with tender pressure to produce fragrant oil for meals. Bright figs and plump grapes waited patiently for the evening's shared feast. Clay jars of wine cooled in shaded corners, their contents mellow and ready.
Small touches of lavender and thyme scented the air around the oven's warmth.
The basket of fresh rolls was placed reverently on linen, inviting calm. Nearby, a child cradled sweet figs, savoring their mellow, honeyed flavor. The gentle rhythm of preparing bread was like a soft lullaby for the town. Warmth spread quietly from oven and hearth, embracing all who gathered around. The baker's voice was low and satisfied, recounting soft tales as light. The scent of fresh bread comforted every corner of the village's waking life. Outside, shadows slowly stretched as the sun climbed steadily higher overhead. A breeze carried the faint hint of salt from distant, restful seas. Let us now float softly into the tranquil life by the olive groves. Rows of trees stood still, leaves whispering faint songs in mild afternoon wind. Workers ambled slowly, their hands steady, moving with the tender rhythm of care. Baskets hung from arms, filled with fruit heavy and perfect in warm light. The soil underfoot was warm and soft, breathing life into roots below ground. The scent of earth and greenery mingled quietly with a faint hint of honey. A dog rested under a tree's wide branches, eyes half closed in contentment. Women moved calmly between trees, their voices low, full of gentle laughter. Olives glistened faintly in the dappled light, slow gifts from patient branches. The afternoon sun cast mellow shadows that swayed like slow dancers on the ground. Children chased one another softly, the sound of their play blending with the breeze. A water jar rested quietly beside a stone well, its surface still and calm. The rhythm of picking was steady, unhurried, a peaceful dance with the earth. Birds sang faint melodies overhead, weaving through leaves with gentle chirps and trills. Bundles of fresh olives were laid gently on woven mats to dry in the sun. Hands wiped beads of sweat with worn cloths, moving with tender, deliberate purpose. The grove felt alive yet calm, a haven of peaceful labor and steady breaths. Beyond, hills rolled gently into the horizon, their curves resting forever in calm quiet. Soft laughter and whispered stories floated between the branches like a hidden breeze. Sacking bags waited patiently at the grove's edge, ready to carry the harvest slowly. Nearby, a small fire smoldered softly, its warmth a steady but faint glow. As the day softened, the grove embraced the calm hush of evening's approach. Let us now wander to the still, peaceful lanes of an ancient village street. Stone paths curved gently between simple homes, shaded by vines and mellow blossoms. Women carried small baskets of fresh herbs, their steps steady and rhythmic. The aroma of cooked vegetables and wild greens mingled with the faint scent of smoke. Sunlight filtered through grape leaves, casting soft, patchwork shadows on the ground. Doors opened quietly, revealing small kitchens filled with the glow of earthen ovens. Neighbors greeted each other with warm smiles, voices hushed in friendly care. The stone benches outside homes invited rest as the day's heat faded slowly. A cat purred faintly on a windowsill, basking in the fullness of late afternoon. Bread cooled on wooden racks, its surface golden and still warm from the oven. Clay pots simmered gently with stews of lentils and herbs, filling the air softly. The air was alive with the scent of garden herbs, ripe olives, and tender fruit. Women folded cloth with calm hands, preparing for the evening's quiet tasks. A small altar glowed gently with dim oil lamps, offering tender light to the gods. Even the breeze moved with softness, brushing leaves and petals without haste. Old men sat on shaded steps, speaking softly of the season's slow, gracious turns. The sound of water from a nearby fountain added a faint, steady rhythm. Lanterns were prepared with gentle care, their flames waiting to flicker as night fell. The village street breathed calmly, bathed in the warm, fading light of dusk. Let us now drift into the mellow hours by the market's gentle heart. Slow feet padded over sun-warmed stone, pausing beside neatly arranged stalls. Merchants offered fruit with tender smiles, their voices hushed and inviting. Baskets of oranges, figs, and pomegranates rested under woven shades, rich and mellow. The scent of cinnamon and wild honey mingled with faint whispers of the sea. Shoppers moved at easy pace, fingers brushing soft skins of ripe vegetables. A child reached for a grape, eyes wide with soft wonder and delight. Bundles of herbs lay bundled neatly, their fragrance folding gently into the air. Artisans displayed simple goods, hand-woven cloth, delicate pottery, and smooth wooden bowls. Small dogs trotted quietly, tails wagging softly beside calm, steady feet. The day's warmth lingered in tawny shadows cast across cobblestones and carts. The market moved as one slow, gentle dance, its rhythm steady and reassuring. Straw hats shaded faces from fading sun, their edges brushing passing voices tenderly. Hushed greetings passed between neighbors, spoken with warmth and familiarity. The scent of fresh bread and roasted nuts floated lightly from nearby stalls. Time seemed to stretch, unhurried, wrapped in the embrace of lasting tradition. Near the fountain, a group shared sweet olives and soft cheese under shaded vines. The low hum of conversation wove through the market, a calm chorus of everyday life. As shadows lengthened, lanterns began to glow softly, promising evening's gentle comforts. Let us now turn toward the cozy interiors of a family's evening home. Windows were opened wide, letting in the serene air of a cooling night. A hearth fire crackled softly, casting dancing shadows on whitewashed walls. Earthenware dishes were brought to the table, filled with warming stews and fresh bread. The family gathered close, their voices low in tender conversation and shared stories. Flickering candlelight fell gently over faces shaped by peaceful smiles and calm eyes. Outside, the sound of cicadas wove a mellow background to this intimate scene. Clay lamps sent pools of warm light onto woven rugs and wooden benches. The scent of roasting herbs and simmering beans comforted the space with familiarity. Children rested their heads against a parent's knee, lulled by the steady voices. The night deepened silently, wrapped in the embrace of soft warmth and steady love. A quiet breeze stirred curtains, bringing in faint whispers of cool, fragrant earth. Simple melodies hummed tenderly from chapped lips, music as steady as the hearth's fire. Outside, stars began their patient glow, witnessing the calm rhythms of this home. Speech slowed to whispers. Thoughts unfurled in gentle recollections and peaceful plans. Wooden bowls were cleared quietly, the night's tasks winding down with tender care. A small dog curled beside the hearth, its breathing rhythmic and faintly audible. The family settled into restful stillness, wrapped in the serenity of home's heart. Let us now wander softly to the olive press beside the calm river. Large stones rested in place, waiting for slow, steady crushing of ripe fruit. Men worked with patience, turning wheels that pressed oil from olives with steady hands. Water from the river flowed quietly nearby, cool and constant in its journey. Bundles of freshly picked olives were spread out beneath the warm midday light. The scent of fruit and earth mingled sweetly in the mellow air. Women gathered nearby, sorting leaves and twigs from the harvest with tender care. The press creaked faintly as the heavy stones turned, slow and resolute. Oil dripped gently into clay jars, gleaming golden pools of liquid warmth. A child watched quietly, eyes bright with curiosity and calm fascination. The nearby trees whispered through their leaves, their ancient voices mild and steady. Shadows stretched long as the afternoon sun softened into amber and gold. The river carried small ripples, its surface peaceful and shimmering softly.
Farm tools rested nearby, their metal glinting faintly in the fading light.
The press's slow rhythm felt like the heartbeat of the land and its people. Sun-warmed stones beside the river served as quiet seats for resting hands and minds. A faint breeze carried the mellow scent of wildflowers and fresh earth to this place. The olive press stood as a symbol of steady work and quiet abundance. As evening drew near, the air filled with tender promises of peaceful rest. Let us now follow the steady footsteps leading toward a shaded vineyard. Rows of grapevines bent gently under the weight of ripening dark purple fruit. Workers ambled slowly, their hands brushing leaves with calm and careful motions. The earth smelled sweet and cool beneath the mellow afternoon sun. Baskets rested quietly, half full of grapes picked with slow, deliberate care. Bird song floated faintly on the breeze, mixing with the sound of distant voices. The vineyard felt alive but tranquil, a place where time itself seemed to pause. A small patch of wildflowers nodded gently at the vineyard's soft edges. Fruit was gathered carefully to avoid bruising, each bunch a quiet treasure. A little girl traced grape leaves with tender fingers, marveling at their soft veins. Dappled sunlight played quietly on the vines, weaving shadows across worn paths. Animals browsed calmly along nearby hills, adding to the landscape's peaceful charm. The steady work of harvesting became a gentle ritual, full of grace and rhythm. Bundles of grapes were loaded onto carts, moving slowly toward cool storage places. The scent of ripened fruit mingled with earth, bringing a sense of mellow fulfillment. Beyond the vineyard, the hills rolled softly into the horizon's steady embrace. The warmth of late afternoon light softened edges and calmed every gentle movement. Let us now drift toward the shaded nook, where quiet conversations unfold. Under a pergola wrapped with blooming vines, elders gathered to share stories calmly. Their voices were low and steady, weaving memories like delicate threads of dawn. Faint smiles and occasional laughter sprinkled the air with tender lightness. Young listeners sat close, their eyes wide with quiet wonder and soft reverence. The breeze carried the warm scent of honey and freshly sliced bread to this place. Time moved slowly here, each moment a soft step through gentle history's flow. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting mottled shadows that swayed with ease. Warmth filled this space, a quiet sanctuary from the day's now fading sounds. Hands were folded in laps or rested on sturdy wooden benches with grace. Words came softly, recounting simple joys and the rhythms of everyday kindness. This was a gathering of peace, held tenderly in the gentle pause of afternoon. The distant song of a bird mingled faintly with the murmur of shared thoughts. The scent of dried herbs hung loosely, a delicate reminder of past seasons' gifts. Eyes closed occasionally, basking in the slow cadence of remembered moments. The sun sank lower behind hills, turning sky to a mellow wash of coral. Let us now wander quietly into the heart of a village flower garden. Rows of lilies and rosemary swayed faintly beneath a nurturing, calm sun. Bees visited blossoms methodically, their wings humming a steady, peaceful tune. The earth underfoot was soft and warm, alive with the earth's subtle breath. A gardener moved slowly among the plants, hands tracing leaves with tender affection. Water trickled in a small stone basin, its sound steady and soothing. Bright petals caught the light softly, their colors mellow in the afternoon shade. Children chased butterflies around bushes, their laughter light and unfocused. The fragrance of roses and lavender filled the air, heavy but not overwhelming. A cat stretched lazily on a stone wall, absorbing the garden's tranquil spirit. Small stone statues watched over the blooms with a serene, untouched stillness. The gardener paused, inhaling the scent of earth and blooms with steady joy. Flower beds were arranged with care, each plant placed in its own quiet space. Butterflies flitted slowly from bloom to bloom, painting delicate patterns in the air. This garden was a pocket of calm, a refuge from time's passing haste. Evening shadows began to gather gently, softening the colors of petals and leaves. Let us now step quietly into a humble olive farmer's home as night falls. Inside, a fire smoldered faintly in a stone hearth, offering warmth and calm. The family settled into low wooden chairs, their faces illuminated by firelight's glow. Walls were adorned with simple woven cloths, their patterns steady and familiar. The scent of roasting herbs filled the air, mingling with that of fresh bread. A mother tended a small child, rocking gently with steady, soothing motions. Soft voices exchanged kisses and blessings, a steady thread of tender care. Outside, olive branches whispered faintly in the night breeze, cool and hushed. The family ate slowly, savoring simple dishes prepared with love and patience. The sound of evening insects hummed as a backdrop to quiet mealtime conversation. Warmth from the hearth wrapped around them like a gentle, still embrace. Music flickered softly from a distant lyre, notes floating like a lullaby. The family's routine moved gracefully, each moment filled with peaceful connection. Firelight flickered over worn faces, each line telling tales of steady years. Slowly, eyes grew heavy, and the home settled into the calm of night. Outside, stars twinkled faintly through the scattered clouds, guardians of dreams. The day's simple joys lingered in the warm silence that filled every corner. In this home, peace and love lived quietly, like a serene, steady flame. And so the village drifted toward the tranquil hush of sleeping earth and sky. As dawn began to tease the horizon, soft hues painted the sky. The village awoke with a gentle stir, like a stream waking from sleep. Doors opened quietly, revealing neighbors greeting one another with tender smiles. Smoke from small fires rose steadily, curling in the cool morning breeze. Women moved gracefully through narrow lanes, carrying baskets brimmed with fresh herbs. Children's laughter bubbled faintly as they chased light shadows across sunlit stones. The scent of ripe figs warmed the air, mingling with honey's mellow sweetness. Farmers appeared, guiding their flocks through fields dappled with amber sunlight. Dogs lay lazily near doorways, their breath slow and even in the calm. The market space began to fill with soft chatter and the rustling of cloth. Sellers arranged gentle piles of olives, their skins gleaming in the morning light. The rhythm of daily life clicked steadily, a dance of small, familiar tasks. Elders sat beneath trees, casting soft glances over the awakening village. In the nearby orchards, hands plucked fruit, careful and unhurried. A faint breeze carried the scent of earth, wood smoke, and warm stone. The sky above stretched bright and clear, promising a serene, steady day. Slow steps led a young girl toward a tranquil fountain, water shimmering faintly. She cupped her hands, letting cool liquid drip back into ancient stone basins. Nearby, potters shaped clay with steady fingers, their movements tender and sure. Each vessel took form with patience, curves smoothing under the watchful sky. The scent of freshly turned soil mingled with the faint aroma of baking bread. In a shaded courtyard, soft voices exchanged stories wrapped in warm familiarity. Sunlight filtered through leaves, casting serene, dancing patterns on weathered walls. Baskets of ripe grapes lay quietly, waiting for gentle hands to gather them. Faint sounds of a flute whispered from a distant hill, gentle and mellow. We move gently now to the warmth of a baker's morning. Inside a humble oven, dough rose slowly under watchful eyes. Hands dusted flour softly, shaping loaves with care that only years bring. The kitchen hummed with peaceful energy, a ritual carried out day by day. Outside, a cat stretched languidly, content in a patch of warm sun. Bread baked golden, filling the air with comforting, tender scents. Customers arrived quietly, exchanging soft thanks and warm smiles over fresh goods. A mother balanced small coins as her child waited, eyes bright with calm anticipation. The rhythm of the bakery breathed steady, a comforting pulse in village life. Fresh loaves brought moments of stillness, connecting hearts in simple tradition. Now, as the sun climbed higher, we glimpsed the gentle flow of the river. Water moved with a steady calm, caressing smooth stones with faint whispers. Fishermen tended nets with slow motions, hands steady as they worked beside water. Boats bobbed quietly, secured with ropes that creaked faintly under light breeze. Nearby, women washed cloth in the cool stream, folding fabrics with serene care. The scent of wet earth rose fragrant, layered with wildflowers' subtle perfume. The village bridge arched quietly over the gentle current, worn smooth by centuries. Children's feet splashed softly at the water's edge, laughter mingling with flowing peace. Dragonflies flitted over lily pads, their wings shimmering in the warm, steady light. Fishermen chatted calmly, voices blending with the river's steady, tender song. Long grasses swayed faintly along the banks, brushing softly against wooden boats. We now turn our thoughts to the quiet mornings in olive groves. Sunlight filtered through silvery leaves, dappling the earth in calm patterns. Hands moved carefully among branches, picking olives with steady, skilled grace. Baskets filled slowly, each fruit a small gift of sun and time. The air smelled faintly of crushed leaves and distant wild herbs. In the shaded groves, a family paused to share a quiet meal.
Flatbreads were broken gently, dipped into warm, golden oil.
Fresh cheese and figs were passed slowly, each bite savored with tender joy. Nearby, bees hummed softly among wildflowers, their wings catching fleeting light. The grove seemed to breathe a calm, steady rhythm in the warmth of day. Even the birds sang faint melodies, steady and mellow against the sky's blue hush. We drift now to the delicate art of pottery along a sun-warmed hillside. Clay was dug with careful hands, softened by cool, clear water from a well. Potters sat on low stools, spinning wheels turning with slow, even pressure. Shapes emerged quietly, vessels for water, wine, and olive oil. Nearby, leaves rustled faintly, casting flickering shadows over shaded hands. Each pot held a story whispered through its curves and gentle markings. Children watched with wide eyes, marveling at the steady dance of shaping clay. The kiln glowed faintly at the end of the day, a warm beacon in the dusk. Glazes shimmered in soft colors, reflections of sky and earth combined. The potter's studio was a haven of calm, a world where time slowed. We now wander to the village hearth as evening descends with tender footsteps. Flames flickered, casting moving patterns of light over woven rugs and polished wood. A kettle whispered as it boiled, filling the room with gentle warmth. Families gathered close, their voices hushed, sharing stories wrapped in amber glow. Outside, cicadas chirped in steady rhythms, a natural lullaby under stars. Windows were shuttered slowly, securing quiet spaces from night's gentle embrace. The scent of herbs hung in the warm air, mingling with faint smoke's rise. A child rested head on mother's lap, breathing deep and even in peace. Soft blankets were pulled close, wrapping sleepy souls in tender comfort. Outside, the olive trees stood tall and silent against the starlit sky. The village sighed softly, settled into the gentle cradle of night's calm. At dawn, we now glimpse the quiet crafts of a quiet weaving room. Fibers of wool awaited steady hands, dyed with muted colors plucked from earth. Women sat in a circle, their movements slow and familiar as wind through grass. Threads intertwined methodically, creating cloth to guard against the cool mountain mists. Light filtered through lattice windows, tracing serene patterns on the floor. The room filled with faint sounds of gentle laughter and steady heartbeat rhythms. Nearby, a cat purred faintly, warm on a woolen bundle by the hearth. Small children traced curious fingers over swaths of cloth, with quiet wonder. Weaving was more than craft. It was a steady breath passed through time. Shuttles clicked softly, stitching moments together in a calm fabric of life. From here, we drift toward the stillness of a village well in mid-morning. Women gathered with pitchers, their faces calm beneath wide straw hats. The sun cast gentle shadows over worn stones, smooth from years of use. Water shimmered bright and clear, reflecting the cool blue of endless skies. Silent moments stretched lovingly between words as friends exchanged tender greetings. Buckets dipped steadily, filled with life's most essential and humbling resource. The sound of water spilling was a soothing lullaby under quiet air. The day's warmth wrapped around them, peaceful and steady, like a soft cloak. Now we look toward the simple joys in the flower gardens by quiet homes. Petals bloomed slowly under careful hands, colors mellow and fading into light. Butterflies drifted like whispers, wings catching rays in faint, flickering patterns. The scent of jasmine and lavender mingled with the earth's steady breath. Elders paused to admire the calm beauty of each blooming treasure. The garden paths curved with gentle grace among olive trees and herbs. A child knelt, fingers tracing the petal's curve with tender curiosity. The air thrummed smoothly with quiet life, nature's steady heartbeat welcoming day. We now settled beside a calm cove where fishermen mend nets with patient skill. Soft waves kissed the edge of simple boats resting on worn sand. Hands untangled knots slowly, working together in tender harmony under sun's gaze. Nearby, seaweed shimmered faintly in cool pools left by retreating tides. Seagulls called quietly, gliding with steady wings over horizon's calm line. The salt scent mingled with the faint brush of pine from nearby hills. Fishermen's songs were low and even, a melody born from steady days. Their nets, filled with dreams and time, lay ready for tomorrow's gentle hands. Along the shore, children collected shells, their voices soft, eyes shining with delight. The ocean held its secrets beneath waves moving in tranquil grace. A wooden dock creaked steadily as it swayed in rhythm with water's pulse. From the cove, we drift into the warmth of a midday olive oil pressing. Pressed olives yielded liquid gold, their fragrance rich with earth's steady gift. Families gathered around, tasting the new oil with quiet smiles and soft sighs. The pressing stones moved slowly, grinding fruit in a ritual of care. Shaded courtyards, filled with laughter and tender conversation, wrapped in fragrant air. Birds perched quietly above, watching over the serene industry below. The oil was bottled carefully, precious and pure, a treasure of the land. Empty amphorae waited patiently to be filled, gleaming in the calm afternoon. Nearby, goats rested in dappled shade, nibbling leaves with soft, steady munching. We now turn to the peaceful evening strolls through olive groves, bathed in fading light. The sun sunk low, painting trees with golden hues. like a mellow dream. Steps crunched softly over fallen leaves, a rhythm gentle and familiar as breath. Families walked together, voices hushed, sharing stories that eased into night. Cool air carried scents of damp earth and ripening olives, tender and sweet. Fireflies flickered faint as dusk deepened, stars beginning their slow dance overhead. The pathway wound quietly beneath branches, shadows stretching long and serene. Here, in these grove walks, the village's heart beat steady beneath the fading sky. We next glimpsed the calm of a fisherman's supper beside whispering waves. A small fire crackled gently, its warmth mingling with the sea's faint breeze. Simple fare of bread and cheese was shared under a canopy of stars. Salt air filled lungs, blending faint with the mellow smoke's rising curl. The fisherman's gaze drifted softly across the calm, restless water beyond. Seated on a smooth rock, he savored the peaceful end to a quiet day. The steady lull of waves soothed mind and body as night deepened. A quiet song hummed softly, carried on the tender ocean wind. Nearby, lanterns flickered faintly, casting dancing shadows on sand and stone. The vast sky held promises of calm tomorrows and restful dreams. Let us now drift toward the gentle sounds of a village weaving workshop. In the warm light of late afternoon, threads of flax and wool awaited calm hands. Women sat side by side, weaving patterns born from stories told in soft tones. Their fingers moved steadily, crafting cloth to warm cold winter nights ahead. Above, a faint breeze stirred curtains, carrying scents of dried herbs and honey. The room was filled with the gentle sound of shuttles gliding through threads. Mothers watched children play quietly nearby, laughter mingling with steady rhythm. Sunlight softened through the windows, casting golden hues over woven masterpieces. Each cloth bore marks of patience, love, and seasons gently passing by. From here, we drift softly into a quiet evening at a village courtyard well. Buckets were drawn slowly from cool depths beneath the fading light. A steady chorus of polite greetings and soft laughter filled the air. Elders rested on stone benches, their calm eyes reflecting the tranquil sky. The scent of night jasmine rose thick and sweet with evening's hush. Children played near the fountain's edge, their movements light and unhurried. Water spilled in steady, soothing rhythms, a natural song to close the day. Lanterns flickered as darkness wrapped the village in tender shadows. Families made their way homeward, steps slow, holding peace deep within their hearts. Now we turn gently to the golden light falling on vineyard terraces. Rows of grapevines stretched out like quiet waves under the afternoon sun. Hands moved carefully, pruning and tending with steady care born from long practice. The earth held a warm, comforting scent of fruit and sun-baked soil. Birdsong filled the air, half hidden among leaves rustling lightly in the breeze. Occasional laughter drifted up, soft and clear against the mellow landscape. Clouds shimmered faintly, floating like whispers over the calm, steady hills. Baskets slowly filled with clusters of grapes, ripe and bursting with quiet promise. From the vineyard, we shift our gentle gaze to the village blacksmith's forge. Though the work was steady, the pace remained calm, measured, and mindful. Inside, the glow of embers warmed the space with a tender, steady light. Hands shaped tools slowly, with careful attention and peaceful resolve. The rhythmic tapping of hammer on metal blended softly with the evening breeze. Outside, shadows lengthened as day softened toward night's quiet arrival. Among the forged creations, everyday tools spoke of simple, enduring lives. We now flow toward the tranquil scene of a village school at dusk. Children gathered quietly on stone benches, their faces calm under fading light. Lessons passed with gentle voices, filled with stories of nature and stars. Teachers moved steadily among them, nurturing curiosity with quiet encouragement. The soft pages of scrolls turned slowly, carrying wisdom like a soothing stream. Evening shadows deepened beyond open windows, wrapping the room in calm embrace. Outside, the world grew stiller, holding its breath in peaceful anticipation. We move gently now to the tender moments of a family meal. Olive oil glistened faintly on bowls of fresh vegetables and soft, warm bread. Laughter flickered low, tender as candlelight, across the wooden table. Each taste was slow and reverent, a quiet celebration of shared abundance. Children's eyes shone with simple happiness, comforted by familiar flavors and faces. Flames from a nearby hearth danced softly, casting mellow patterns on faces. The meal unfolded quietly, a mindful journey through tastes and textures. Near the window, night air stirred leaves softly, cooled by the steady breeze. Feet rested beneath the table, a picture of calm contentment and peace. Now our thoughts drift to farmhouse courtyards, basking in the afternoon sun. Laundry hung motionless on lines, fluttering faintly in warm, fragrant breezes. Old stone walls held stories whispered by vines curling gently along their surface. Birds fluttered in olive branches, their songs weaving an aural tapestry of calm. Inside, crockpots simmered slowly, filling kitchens with tender scents of herbs and thyme. Children played with quiet glee, chasing soft shadows cast by steady light. In the distance, a lone shepherd hummed a gentle tune to steady his flock. The farmhouse breathed gently in harmony with the slow beating of Earth's heart. From this place, we now wandered to a quiet afternoon by a temple garden. Marble steps lay cool beneath bare feet, smooth and serene in late sunshine. Flowers bloomed with muted colors, petals unfolding softly like whispered blessings. A single figure moved slowly among columns, absorbed in quiet contemplation. Leaves rustled faintly, stirred by a calm and steady summer breeze. The scent of myrrh and sage drifted through shaded walkways like distant memories. Grass bent gently beneath feet, a plush carpet inviting slow, steady steps. Here, time seemed to pause, holding space for peace, thought, and tender rest. Even as shadows lengthened, the garden remained a haven of warmth and calm. Now, as dusk draws near, we gaze gently toward quiet homes lighting soft lamps. Lanterns glowed faintly through open windows, offering tender beacons against dark. Families gathered in rooms warmed by hearths glowing steady with restful light. The day's labors faded slowly into softened voices and gentle, restful smiles. Outside, night animals stirred faintly in the warm embrace of cool earth. The scent of cooking herbs mingled with faint smoke, trailing into the twilight. Windows framed scenes of calm, where love and routine wove a quiet web. Beds were prepared softly, blankets folded with care for peaceful dreams ahead. Soon, the village slipped deeper into the warm fold of night's gentle arms. This gentle rhythm carried the people onward, resting and waking in steady grace. Let us now turn softly to the early morning prayers whispered at first light. Incense curled slowly upward, its faint fragrance weaving through the still, cool air. Candles flickered against carved stone, casting tender shadows on faces closed in peace. Voices lifted quietly in song, a serene melody flowing through narrow streets.
The world remained hushed,
Wrapped tightly in a blanket of calm reverence. The rising sun lent golden hues that warmed the humble temple walls. Prayerful moments stretched gently, steady as the earth turning silently beneath sky. From here, we drift to the steady rhythms of daily village chores. Buckets were carried with calm resolve, steps steady on well-worn paths. Tools were gathered with tender care, ready for work that honors the land. Animals stirred slowly, their quiet motions blending into the embracing day. Children helped gently, learning the familiar rhythms of responsibility and care. Quiet conversation flowed like soft streams, connecting hearts through shared effort. The air smelled faintly of freshly turned soil and blooming wild herbs. As sunlight warmed stones beneath foot, village life hummed softly with steady grace. Now, we move our gaze toward the inviting shade of a communal bakery garden. Vines heavy with ripened fruit shaded the enclosing walls in peaceful green. Bakers paused between tasks to gather figs, grapes, and herbs for their kitchens. The sweet scents mingled easily with the warm comfort of fresh, rising dough. Neighbors exchanged soft smiles, their hands busy with gentle, familiar movements. Sunlight filtered through leaves, painting mottled patterns on earthen floors below. With steady patience, afternoon waned beneath the lazy watch of distant hills. We now glide gently toward the calm evening sounds drifting from a village tavern. Within, low voices conversed in mellow tones beside flickering oil lamps. Fragments of melody hummed faintly from a player softly strumming a lyre. Visitors sat slowly, savoring wine poured with steady, careful hands. The scent of roasted herbs and simmering legumes mingled with the hush of night. Outside, the first stars began their faint, eternal shimmer in tranquil skies. Stepping out, the cool air greeted travelers like a tender lullaby. The village embraced quiet, its heart beating slow and steady beneath the stars. From here, our thoughts drift to the soft steps taken beside ripening wheat fields. Golden stalks swayed in breezes light as whispered dreams under warm sunlight. Farmers moved peacefully between rows, hands brushing grains with affectionate care. The scent of earth and grain filled the air, calm and fulfilling as a sigh. Weary hands gathered sheaves slowly, steady with practiced gentleness and patience. The fields held a serene promise of harvest tucked within each ripened ear. As evening drew near, shadows lengthened softly, cooling the warm, mellow air. With baskets and smiles, the day's quiet work reached its tender completion. We now release our gaze to the little harbor where boats whisper against docks. Rowboats rested peacefully, their wood worn smooth by countless gentle tides. The water mirrored the sky's fading hues, reflecting peace in every rippling curve. Fishermen's nets lay quietly drying in the last light, threads gleaming faintly gold. In the distance, gulls soared slowly, riding breezes soft as a mother's lullaby. Small children chased crabs along the shore, their laughter a gentle, steady tide. The harbor hummed a relaxed tune, a lullaby of connection between sea and land. We now rest beside the modest workshops where tools are crafted with care. Carpenters worked with steady hands, shaping wood that would cradle village life. Sawdust floated lightly in shafts of sunlight, settling in slow, tender swirls. The scent of pine and cedar filled air, warm and inviting and calm. Neighborhoods softened their edges, held by these quiet places of creation and skill. The rhythmic tapping of hammer echoed steady, a lull embracing quiet industry. From here, let us drift toward the village's evening ritual of storytelling by firelight. Faces glowed warmly around dancing flames, eyes reflecting gentle wonder and calm. Soft voices wove tales of nature and kindness, threaded through quiet imagination. The night air wrapped around this circle in a tender, steady embrace. Stories unfolded slowly, unfurling like leaves touched by early morning dew. Laughter and sighs mingled softly, a shared moment held in peaceful reverence. The fire's steady glow held watch over hearts, woven by gentle words and dreams. Now we glide softly into the peaceful stillness of olive harvest moonlight. Under a sky rich with stars, hands move tenderly, collecting fruit by gentle torchlight. The groves whispered calmly, leaves moving faintly in night's cool embrace. Lantern light cast mellow glows on faces serene with peaceful purpose. Quiet voices shared soft songs that floated gently through the night air. Olives slipped slowly into baskets, their skin shining like smooth river stones. The night's steady rhythm beat softly beneath wide, watchful eyes of distant hills. We now turn to the early morning breakfast, in a modest village home. Warm bread was broken slowly, butter melting softly on each small piece. The aroma of boiled herbs filled the air in tender, familiar waves. Children's sleepy eyes brightened with each gentle bite and quiet word exchanged. Outside, roosters crowed faintly, their voices steady as the waking sun. Lamps were extinguished slowly, the house settling into the soft embrace of morning light. Now we move toward a quiet garden where herbs hang to dry in warm air. Bundles swing gently from wooden beams, their scents blending with calm, steady breezes. A lone gardener knelt, hands steady as they gathered the last fresh sprigs. The air was rich with thyme, sage, and lavender, sleep's natural lullabies. In this quiet haven, time slowed to an easy, soothing pace. We now glide softly toward the calm mornings by a slow-moving mountain stream. Water bubbled gently over smooth rocks, singing a serene, steady melody. Moss-covered stones cradled the clear flow, cradling it like a sleeping child. A few wildflowers leaned toward the water, their petals shy in morning light. Nature breathed softly here, embracing all with tender stillness and warmth. A shepherd's silent path wound alongside, footsteps muffled by damp grasses. We now watch as sunlight waxed and waned over peaceful sunlit courtyards. Flowers bloomed in stone pots, their colors subtle and their beauty quiet. A cat stretched lazily across cool tiles, basking in the mellow noon warmth. Cicadas droned softly in evergreen branches, their rhythm steady and calming. Families rested in hammocks woven with care, suspended between olive trees. The scent of baking bread drifted faintly from an open window nearby. We move slowly toward the evening, where quiet rituals of closing the day unfold. Lanterns were lifted gently, casting a mellow glow on winding village paths. Shutters closed methodically, sealing cool, calm homes under twilight's gentle watch. Soft prayers were whispered before hearth fires, voices merging with night's embrace. Stars shone gently above, guardians of a village wrapped warmly in rest. Now, as night deepens, let us wander through quiet lanes where lanterns flicker softly. Footsteps echo faintly, slow and steady, beneath the hush of ancient stone walls. Doors closed with tender care, hearts wrapped in the calm of evening's arms. The village slept beneath a blanket of tender, watchful stars. Breaths deepened and slowed, matching the tranquil pulse of moonlit earth around. Morning light awaited patiently, ready to cradle another day in soft embrace. From the sleepy streets, we drift now to the calm rhythm of a market's dawn. Vendors arranged goods with steady hands, colors gentle in the quiet morning. Baskets of figs, jars of honey, and soft loaves lined the stalls like treasures. Neighbors exchanged calm greetings, their voices low and steady like a song. The scent of herbs mingled with fresh earth and warm stone pathways. Sunlight crept slowly through narrow alleys, casting long, mellow shadows. Children wandered peacefully, fingers tracing patterns woven into market cloth. The rhythm of the market was a gentle heartbeat, steady and sure. Flutes played faintly from a shaded corner, their tunes tender and sweet. We now drift toward the soft warmth of a potter's wheel in still afternoon. Clay spun slowly beneath steady hands, forming vessels that felt as if breathing. The studio smelled of earth and fire mingled, a tender promise of creation. Sunlight filtered softly through worn windows, touching dust motes in golden rays. The potter's touch guided each curve with quiet care and loving patience. Tools rested gently nearby, waiting for the next slow movement to bring shape. Finished pots lined shelves, their surfaces smooth, reflecting the mellow daylight. Outside, olive trees swayed faintly in a warm afternoon breeze. The village stirred softly in harmony with the potter's tender craft. Now we shift our gaze to the soft glow of evening meal preparations. Fresh vegetables were washed calmly in cool water drawn from an earthenware jar. Fires burned steadily beneath pots filled with fragrant herbs and maturing stew. The kitchen was alive with gentle motions, hands moving in practiced harmony. A child set the table slowly, placing each bowl with tender care. Candlelight flickered against shadowed walls, wrapping dinner in a warm embrace. The scent of rosemary and thyme mixed with bread's faint sweetness in the air. Voices blended softly, a steady lull of family and friendship weaving close. We now settle beside a cool spring where villagers paused to fill their jars. Water gurgled faintly over mossy stones, a serene companion to hushed footsteps. Each person moved with stillness and respect, careful to savor the spring's gift. The air was scented with wildflowers and damp earth, steady and inviting. A dog lay quietly by the water's edge, eyes half closed in gentle rest. From the spring, we wander toward a shaded olive press, bathed in fading light. Olives were crushed slowly, oils dripping golden and clear. Families gathered in soft circles, sharing stories beneath the rustling silver leaves. Mellow twilight wrapped all in a calm embrace, a promise held close to heart. The press labored with steady sound, a quiet song of seasons passing by. Now, as night moves closer, we drift to a village lane where lanterns glow faintly. Steps were slow and measured, weaving among homes warmed by hearth fire's steady light. Windows revealed calm scenes of reading, sewing, and quiet conversations. The village breathed a peaceful sigh under stars scattered like faint sparks of hope. Night sounds whispered softly, gentle and serene, wrapping all in tender comfort. A cool breeze threaded through olive branches, its touch light and full of grace. We move gently now to a quiet fishing cove where boats rest beneath the moon. Silver water held the moonlight, smooth as silk, under calm, steady night. Ships rocked tenderly, cradled by faint waves that whispered promises of rest. Lantern light flickered softly on decks deserted, but for the patient seagulls. Night air was fresh and mild, filled with the faint scent of salt and wood. The harbor remained alive with quiet presence, a safe haven in sleeping land. Nearby, nets lay folded neatly, ready for the new day's gentle tasks. A single fisherman hummed a low tune near the shore, voice steady and soft. As darkness deepened, the village sank into the warm hold of restful night. Now, we float slowly toward a tranquil garden where evening breezes carry sweet scents. Rose petals fell lightly like soft dreams upon the cool stone floor beneath. The air shimmered faintly with jasmine and honeysuckle's tender fragrance. Lanterns hung gently among branches, casting mellow light that danced with shadow. A quiet stream trickled through the garden, its song blending with night's calm. Faces reflected peaceful smiles as the earth and sky merged in soft lull. From the garden, we drift softly to an olive grove at early dawn. Mist clung gently to silver leaves, a whisper of cool breath across the land. Birds stirred faintly, their wings brushing softly through the hazy morning light. Quiet footsteps traced pathways lined with ancient trees, standing steadfast and serene. Baskets waited patiently, ready for hands to begin the day's tender work. Sunlight broke slowly, washing the earth in hues warm and steady as a heartbeat. In these moments, time stretched thin and easy, holding all in peaceful balance. Now we move toward the humble schoolhouse as day begins with steady calm. A teacher's voice rose softly, weaving stories rich with quiet wisdom and care. Children sat alert but relaxed, eyes bright beneath the sheltering roof. Books passed slowly from hand to hand, each page a gentle invitation to wonder. Outside, olive branches swayed faintly against the steady blue of endless sky. A faint breeze stirred dust motes, weaving warm patterns on sun-warmed floors. The teacher smiled softly, the room filled with patient learning and gentle joy. We now turn our thoughts toward the steady pulse of a village potter's kiln. Fire burned steadily within stone walls, a warm heart beating slow and strong. Pottery glowed faintly as it transformed under watchful eyes and steady hands. The air smelled earthy and sweet as shapes hardened into lasting forms. Outside, stars began to glimmer gently, lighting the village's quiet promise. Now, as evening deepens, we drift toward a family gathered under soft lamplight. Shared meals unfolded slowly, voices low, filled with tenderness and connection. Stories from the day rose gently, wrapped in laughter's warm, steady embrace. Outside, the night held steady, cradling the village in restful arms. The hearth's glow kept watch over sleeping souls, embraced by peace and love. In this timeless place, the quiet moments of life stretched wide and full. We move now to the gentle sound of an afternoon siesta settling over fields. Shadows lengthened softly as village folk rested beneath ancient trees' spreading arms. A lazy breeze stirred leaves, carrying scents of earth and ripening fruit. Heartbeat slowed, breath deepened, and all seemed wrapped in calm, restful shrouds. The steady tick of passing time was a soft treasure to be savored. Now we drift gently toward the village sunrise, where light kisses stone rooftops. Golden rays slide slowly across terracotta tiles, warming the cool morning air. Birds chirped tender greetings as the day stirred silky and serene. Windows opened gradually, inviting fresh, cool breezes into resting homes. In the quiet streets, footsteps echoed softly, steady and slow with promise. Honey tasted rich and mellow beneath the tender gaze of awakening skies. We now settle beside a whispering olive tree, its branches swaying with ease. Leaves shimmered faintly, silver and green, under a sky soft with cloud. A light wind moved through, carrying a melody calm and faint as a sigh. Old hands rested gently on the tree's trunk, feeling time folded deep inside. Beside it, children played with steady joy, their laughter a soft balm on earth. From here, we float toward a slow-moving stream winding through the village outskirts. Water sang a muted, peaceful song as it traced ancient paths with tender care. Smooth stones lay beneath the surface, their forms softened by endless, gentle flow. Willow branches brushed the water, dipping lightly in harmonious, steady dance. A heron stood still, watching with quiet patience the calm current's secrets. The world slowed, holding each moment lovingly, like a whispered, lasting dream. Let us now drift toward the gentle hum of evening prayers, rising to the stars. Incense twisted upward, its fragrant path soft as a lullaby in the night. Voices blended in calm chant, steady and sure, beneath the vast, watchful sky. The village listened quietly, embraced by the melody of faith and rest. Flickering lamps cast shadows like tender promises on ancient stone walls. Calmness settled fully, a blanket warm and steady caressing every heart. Next, we glide calmly to a quiet workshop where metals are shaped with care. Steady hands moved with focused grace, bending copper into vessels of quiet beauty. The gentle ringing of hammer met anvil echoed softly in afternoon stillness. Sunlight shone faintly through high windows, illuminating dust motes in lazy swirls. Each crafted piece became a silent poem, mindful and patient in its form. Outside, gardens bloomed softly, their colors merging with the day's mellow light. We now shift to the comforting hush of a late night by the hearth. A mother hummed softly to her child, voices low and tender as a breeze. The fire whispered warmth and light, chasing away the chill with steady glow.
Stories drifted between silent pauses, a dance of voices calm and sweet.
The house felt full of life's quiet pulse, steady as a sweet heartbeat. Outside, the world slept beneath a sky thick with stars and lasting peace. Now, as night deepens, we turn gently toward the sleeping fields and hills beyond. Grasses nodded slowly in the cool breeze, embracing rest beneath the moon's glow. The earth exhaled softly, cradling seeds and roots in its tender, steady hold. The village lay cradled in a restful hush, wrapped in calm and gentle night. A soft breeze rustled olive leaves, a lullaby sung by the heart of the land. And so, the peaceful rhythms of daily life in ancient Greece faded into dream. We now awaken with dawn's faint, rosy light across gentle hills. Morning mist clings to stone walls, tenderly catching the rising sun. Fields stretch wide and calm, bathed in warm, embracing amber hues. Slow steps cross cool, dew-brushed earth, steady and measured in their pace. Farmers begin their quiet rounds, nodding softly to the waking birds. Hands meet the earth, caressing soil, preparing for new life's steady call. Small homes cradle families wrapped in warm linens and gentle yawned greetings. The smell of fresh bread rises, mingling with honey and figs' mellow scent. Women walk between gardens, picking greens with tender, caring hands. Light filters through olive branches, casting dances of calm and calm shade. Children listen and watch, learning the patient rituals of daily tending. The marketplace slowly fills with hushed voices, blending in a gentle chorus. Vendors set woven baskets down softly, their goods carefully arranged with care. Bright fruits glow quietly under cloth awnings, steady in their silent glow. Fish are laid out in neat rows, reflecting the pale shimmer of dawn. Bread sellers cut generous slices, the faint scent of warmth rising slowly. Farmers trade honeycomb and cheese wrapped in soft leaves and linen. Conversations flow with a measured rhythm, a calm exchange under open skies. The marketplace hums low, like a well-loved lullaby, peaceful and mild. Budding friendships are nurtured here under the tender watch of the sun. We leave now the gathering place and journey toward the gentle countryside. Sunlight weaves through vineyards, resting on ripening grapes with quiet delight. Hands pluck clusters slowly, fingers brushing leaves with steady, reverent grace. In shaded groves, the faint buzz of bees drifts through warm, fragrant air. Cypress trees stand tall, whispering softly to the breeze that lingers close. Farm animals wander calmly between stone walls, their breathing steady and deep. Shepherds guide flocks along peaceful paths, their voices low and even-toned. The cool water of a nearby stream flows over smooth stones, singing softly. Fishermen mend their nets beneath wide, leafy trees, focused on the task. A small village dog pads lazily between sunlit courtyards, tail wagging gently. Now, let us drift toward the slower moments spent in quiet homes. Inside, oil lamps cast warm pools of light on painted walls. Families gather around simple tables, sharing food and tender smiles. Ceramic cups hold honeyed wine, poured with calm, deliberate hands. Bread, olives, and figs are passed quietly, sustenance in gentle exchange. Elders speak in measured words, their voices calm and steady as time. The rhythm of daily life hums softly, a serene dance of nurture and care.
We turn now toward the artistry quietly shaping the evening hours.
Potters sit in shaded courtyards, fingers tracing curves on cool clay. Spinning wheels rotate softly, a low, constant hum in the warm air. Painted vases rest patiently, their stories told in hushed colors and shapes. Youths watch attentively, absorbing the tender craft of steady hands. Brushes dip gently into water, colors blending like a calm sea at dusk. The small spark of creativity glistens quietly in each thoughtful movement. Evening shadows mingle with candlelight, blurring edges into a mellow haze. The day's work winds down, replaced by soothing tones of soft song. Simple flutes breathe faint melodies, each note a tender whisper in night's ear. Birds roost among the branches, sinking into deep, peaceful rest. The village draws inward around flickering lamps and quiet hearths. Outside, stars emerge slowly, their lights faint but steady in the dark. Breath slows, muscles relax, and the world folds gently into stillness. A cat curls on cool stones, its purring a delicate thread of sound. Now we move softly to the calming water's edge, where boats rest. Fishing boats sway gently in the sheltered cove, rocking in slow time. Nets hang along wooden rails, drying under the mild sun's touch. Fishermen sit quietly, their eyes tracing the horizon's mellow line. Seagulls wheel lazily above, their calls distant and faint like soft bells. Shells scatter along the shore, resting in fine sands warmed by the day. Salt air mingles with the scent of wild herbs, carried on steady breeze. Dawn will soon break, yet now all is calm and beautifully still. We shift to the humble school, where young minds find steady calm. Children sit on sun-warmed stones, listening to soft tales of gods and stars. Instructors speak slowly, words flowing like a gentle stream of light. Eyes follow patterns in the air, minds open to quiet wonder. Writing tablets rest on knees, smooth and cool beneath patient hands. Letters form carefully, each stroke a steady beat in learning's song. Lessons pause for gentle laughter, the soft joy of shared discoveries. Outside, olive branches sway, keeping time with the thoughtful silence. The day's end calls quietly, yet learning's warmth remains a steady glow. From schools we wander to the silent, tender gardens of sacred temples. Marble columns rise peacefully, holding shadows soft as twilight's breath. Vases filled with fresh blooms, cradle colors dimmed by evening's touch. Incense curls faintly upward, mingling with calm whispers of prayers. Priests move slowly, their voices low and steady as the fading light. Visitors pause in respectful quiet, hearts open in serene contemplation. The sacred grove hums with the faint pulse of timeless stillness. As night deepens, lamps glow softly, casting mellow pools on stone floors. Leaves rustle faintly outside. A tender lullaby in the dark. From temples we journey now to the tranquil pace of evening meals. Families gather beneath trellised vines, where grapes ripen in cool shade. Simple dishes rest on wooden tables, cheese, bread, and ripe olives. Wine pours slowly, its color a warm wave, catching evening's gentle breath. Voices mix quietly, stories exchanged with tender smiles and easy grace. Hands reach out, passing food with calm gestures, rooted in tradition. The hearth's glowing coals lend a steady warmth to the peaceful meal. Afterward, cups are lifted into the steady hush of starry nights. Fireside tales wrap the family in calm threads of long-ago days. Lamps dim slowly, leaving only silver moonlight to touch quiet faces. We now glide softly toward the world of rest, where sleep awaits. Bedrolls lie spread in cozy corners, cradling bodies weary but content. A mother hums an ancient lullaby, her voice steady and fond. Pillows press lightly against tired heads, inviting dreams wrapped in peace. Outside, gentle breezes carry the hushed breath of the sleeping earth. Grass bends in quiet conversation with the night's deepening calm. All settles into a soft tide of safety and gentle warmth. Stars shine faintly through cool windows, keeping watch as the world dreams. Now our journey slows, wrapped in the tender embrace of ancient night. Let us pause here, held gently by the enduring hush of ages. The land waits patiently for dawn, wrapped in a serene and lasting peace. And so, the intimate rhythm of ancient days flows quietly onward. We move gently to the warmth of a baker's morning. Sunlight filters softly through small windows onto wooden counters. The baker's hands press dough with steady, familiar movements. Flour rises faintly in the cool morning air around him. The hearth glows warmly, casting tender light in the cozy room. Scent of baking bread drifts quietly through narrow, winding streets. Neighbors start their day slowly, stepping outside with calm smiles. Clay pots rest beside the oven, waiting for fresh bread's return. The gentle hum of early chatter mingles with birdsong overhead. Children's bare feet touch worn stone paths as they gather near. Baskets hold olives and figs, offerings for the modest feast ahead. Sunlight spills over rooftops, painting soft gold on tiled piles. A woman unwraps fabric bundles, revealing freshly picked herbs. Her hands brush lightly through the fragrant green leaves with care. Vendors arrange smooth olives in rows, each one placed with thought. The market awakens quietly beneath fluttering linen awnings. A steady rhythm of barter and exchange flows in tender waves. Fruit glows mellow in the bright sun, the purple, the amber, the deep red. The scent of honey and thyme wraps the air in sweet calm. A couple strolls slowly, savoring the warmth in their easy steps. Throughout the village, Life unfolds like a gentle, unhurried song. Let us now drift toward the quiet shores of a small coastal town. Fishing boats rest at anchor, rocking softly in the calm harbor. Nets lie in neat bundles, waiting for the touch of the sea's whisper. Fishermen mend threads with steady fingers, humming a faint lullaby. Seagulls circle lazily, their wings steady against a kindly breeze. The salty air brushes tenderly against sun-warmed skin and cloth. Along the beach, children pick smooth stones, turning them in shy hands. A fisherman's wife gathers seaweed with a calm and practiced grace. Old wooden cabins stand patiently, doors open to the wide, steady sky. A cradle gently rocks on a shaded porch, kissed by morning light. Goat bells chime distantly, a slow and wandering melody on the wind. Salt glistens quietly on weathered tables where nets were spread. The day breathes softly between sea and land, bound in gentle motion. We move next to the warmth of olive groves, where time slows. Tall trees stretch their branches wide, leaves murmuring in subtle breezes. Sun filters faintly, dappling the ground with patches of honeyed light. Steady hands pick olives, turning each fruit with tender care. Baskets fill slowly, a patchwork of purple and soft green hues. Wild herbs grow beneath the trees, their scents weaving through cool air. Long shadows stretch as the afternoon moves with quiet certainty. A shepherd rests nearby, his cloak wrapped closely against the warmth. Goats wander gently, nibbling the sparse grass among the ancient trees. Dawn and dusk meet here, folded softly into one continuous calm. Nearby, a woman kneels beside a small hearth outside a cottage. A simple meal simmers in a clay pot, savory and slow. The scent ripples gently into the shade, inviting quiet togetherness. A child watches with wide eyes, hands folded in gentle patience. Evening light lingers, glowing steady and mellow behind rolling hills. The olive's quiet harvest is a dance between earth and sky. Now, let us wander into the shaded streets of a bustling town. Stone houses lean closely together, shading narrow lanes with care. Shadows creep gently across walls, softened by climbing ivy's green. An old potter shapes clay with easy, familiar hands beside his door. His wheel spins slowly, the rhythm of shaping deep and steady. Clay forms emerge like soft echoes of Earth's patient heartbeat. Nearby, children knead their own chunks of soft, cold earth. Laughs rise lightly above the hush, merging with far-off voices. Baskets brim with dried figs and ripe fresh grapes from garden vines. Sunbeams gleam faintly on copper pans arranged in front of shops. A woman threads silver rings onto fine strings, her touch sure and calm. The air smells faintly of lavender and smoked wood from distant hearths. A baker, a potter, a weaver share fleeting smiles across the space. The town's peaceful pulse moves through these ordinary, steady moments. Every stone, every window, catches the light tenderly and still. Let us now bend toward the quiet waters cradled by green hills. Small streams trickle softly through moss-covered banks and smooth pebbles. Willows dip their branches in with calm and whispering lullabies. A boy sits patiently beside the water, skipping stones in gentle arcs. The cool touch of water soothes his warm fingertips in return. Dragonflies flit lazily, their wings catching faint sunlight with ease. The rustle of reeds blends softly with the birds' hushed songs. Near the edge, a basket holds freshly gathered wildflowers and herbs. A woman hums as she fills the basket with tender, fragrant blooms. Their faint perfume drifts into the air like a whispered secret. A leisurely afternoon here feels endless, wrapped in peaceful hours. Cows graze in the meadows not far off, their breath steady and slow. The sky stretches wide and clear, a calm and breathing expanse. Evening approaches softly, coloring the lake with a faint rosy hush. This quiet world by the water offers solace in simple things. Let us now turn toward the soft rhythm of daily chores. Inside smoke-warmed kitchens, tending to small fires is gentle work. Clay jars hold dried herbs and beans, stacked with tender care. Women and children work quietly, their movements calm and familiar. Chickens peck near the door, their gentle clucks steady and faint. A man carries fresh water calmly from the village well. The sound of flowing water blends into the afternoon's gentle hum. Bread cools on wooden shelves, waiting for small hands to break it. Spoons dip into bowls of thick lentil soup, simple and warm. Slowly, the family gathers, sharing food and soft conversation. Outside, the garden leans into the light, heavy with green and ripe fruits. Vines curl smoothly around wooden trellises, offering shade and sweetness. The smell of fresh mint and rosemary lifts warmly through the open doors. As night nears, lamps flicker to life, casting a mild, golden glow. The house breathes with the peaceful sighs of ending day's routines. Let us drift now to the peaceful solitude of hillside shepherds. They guide flocks with patient footsteps across grassy slopes and wildflowers. Soft bells tinkle gently, mingling with the faint rustle of the breeze. A shepherd pauses under an oak, feeling cool shade on sun-warmed skin. Sheep settle slowly into the grasses, their breaths humming a steady tune. Nearby, small fires burn low, sending up faint threads of curling smoke. The steady rhythm of walking and watching mellows the afternoon here. A woven cloak wraps snugly against evening's tender coolness, creeping close. The land rolls gently beneath wide, uncrowded skies stretching infinitely. A quiet song drifts softly from a distant flute, steady and sweet. Night descends slowly over the hills, folding all in calm shadow. Stars emerge one by one, faint and steady, in the clear air. The shepherd's hearth gives off a lingering, warm, and reassuring glow. We now move toward the settled piece of olive oil pressing. Big stone presses turn with slow, steadfast strength beneath strong hands. Olives crush quietly, releasing a mellow, earthy scent in the open air. Workers speak in hushed tones, attending each step with careful grace. Baskets of tired olives rest nearby, their skins wrinkled with age. Small spills of oil sparkle softly in shallow clay bowls. Days end here with a feast, bread dipped steadily in golden oil. Simple food brings quiet smiles and deep, contented sighs among friends. The air cools gradually as lamps glow steadily in thatch-roofed huts. These moments, rich and tender, build a soft pulse of life. Let us gently wander to the calm work of leather crafting. A craftsman bends close, his steady hands shaping smooth strips of hide. He cuts slowly, each move measured with care and experiences light touch. Sunshine filters warmly on the small, shaded workshop stacked with tools. Strips of leather hang patiently, waiting to become sandals or belts. Dust motes drift lazily in beams of faint, golden afternoon light. The scent of tanned leather blends faintly with cedar shavings near a bench. Outside, leaves tremble in a faint and lingering breeze of early evening. The craftsman hums quietly as his hands work through familiar motions. Leather thongs are threaded carefully, knots tied softly and without haste. A nearby child watches with wide eyes, dreaming of future crafts. Evening falls deeply around the worn stone walls of the humble shop. Firelight flickers steadily, lending tender shadows to curved wooden seats. The day closes slowly in the patience of steady work and soft talk. Let us now listen to the hushed stories of village storytellers. Old men gather near small fires, speaking in calm voices about old times. Their words flow gently like smooth river water over flat stones. Children nestle in blankets close to firesides, eyes large and quiet. Tales of friends and families, yesteryears and quiet joys fill the night. The crackle of embers pulses softly beneath the wide, starlit sky. Every story shared is a thread in the tapestry of peaceful life. The sure silence between words holds warmth and steady understanding. This tradition carries on like a slow river winding through time. With voices low, they speak of good harvests and plentiful springs. The scent of night air mingles faintly with smoke and pine needles. One story drifts into another, a calm quilt of voices and memories. Though the tale ends softly, its echo lingers in the listening hearts. We now arrive at the morning routine of a small weaving workshop. Sunlight presses warm and steady through linen curtains onto wooden looms. Women sit quietly, their fingers moving skillfully through threads, fine and smooth. The rhythmic clack of loom shuttles hums a comforting, mellow song. Yarns twist gently along beams, colors muted by soft, natural dyes. Soft cotton and silky wool blend in tender, patient fabrics. A child nearby strokes a woolen scarf, fascinated by the steady weave. Outside, a garden blooms with violets and rosemary in steady abundance. Baskets of freshly picked lavender rest near the workshop's open door. A gentle breeze carries their faint scent inside, blending with the room's warmth. Pairs work side by side, exchanging quiet smiles in thoughtful silence. The day unfolds quietly, marked by steady hands and shared glances. Outside, the village stirs slowly beneath its blanket of friendly routines. A distant bell rings softly, marking the passage of another humble hour. Now, let us drift toward a sun-dappled orchard in gentle afternoon. Peach trees spread wide arms, their branches heavy with blushed fruit. Beneath the branches, a woman kneels, her hands steady as she gathers. The soft rustle of leaves whispers above her in a tender pulsing. Sunlight warms the earth, creating shadows that dance faintly on the ground. A goat wanders near, chewing calmly on wild grass at its leisure. A child sits nearby, carefully stone peeling a handful of freshly gathered fruit. The orchard smells rich, a mix of ripe sweetness and earth's steady breath. Clouds drift lazily in the high, steady blue of the afternoon sky. A dog lies stretched in shade, gently panting in the warm light. Silent time here moves with calm footsteps and slow, caring hands. Toward evening, baskets brim with fruit, ready for the family's simple feast. Candles are lit, casting mellow flickers on the walls of a humble home. The day closes tenderly, full of kind lights and quiet thanks. Let us now glide toward a riverbank village wrapped in mellow peace. Boats drift in smooth water, tied softly to worn wooden docks. Fishermen mend limes with careful fingers, the river breeze cool and steady. Homes cluster close, their thatched roofs resting beneath steady skies. Children chase slow shadows along sandy river edges, laughter low and warm. Sunlight bathes the village in a calm, tender amber glow. Smoke curls faintly from chimneys, mingling with the scent of baked bread. Old women gather near fountains, their voices low and rich with age and comfort. Fish baskets rest quietly under olive trees that sway with mild grace. A man rows slowly, cutting gentle ripples in the mirror-like river. The water carries soft reflections of sky and branches in steady rhythms. A flute's low notes float through the evening, wrapping the village in calm. Lanterns glow faintly, their flickering light a steady pulse on the riverbank. Evening conversations weave gently into the deepening quiet of descending night. Families close their doors with soft sighs, settling into the comfort of home. Now, let us pause in the herbal gardens beside humble stone cottages. Mint, thyme, and sage stand tall, their scented leaves brushing steady air. A woman's fingers move tenderly among the plants, selecting herbs with care. Bundles are gathered quietly, tied with strips of worn linen cloth. The garden hums softly with the faint buzz of careful bees at work. Warm sun rays filter through olive branches, caressing the tidy beds. The scent of earth and growth rises gently after a recent rain. Near a small fountain, water trickles with calm, endless patience. A small bench invites resting visitors to breathe in peace and calm. Tiny wildflowers nod faintly at the edge of the herb rows. The day fades gently, wrapped in green scents and patient rhythms. We now drift toward a quiet hillside village at twilight's edge. Clay rooftops glow warmly in last golden light beneath broad, tranquil skies. Chickens settle quietly among shaded courtyards, their soft clucks fading. Stone steps lead slowly upward, worn smooth by countless gentle footsteps. Faint laughter echoes from open windows where families share light meals. Olive trees surround the village, their leaves shimmering mildly in the breeze. A woman brushes lint from woven blankets, the fibers soft and still. The scent of baked figs mingles faintly with smoke from hearth fires. Lanterns light slowly, a warm golden thread stitching night to day's end. A sleep-steeped town holds its breath, wrapped in steady serenity. Across the stones, cats stretch languidly in the gentle ebb of evening. Doors close softly as the village moves toward quiet slumber's embrace. The air cools with promise, circling in slow, unfurling waves. No haste stirs the quiet streets, only the steady calm of deep night. Let us turn now to the peaceful life along a fertile river valley. Farmers tend slow-growing crops with strong, careful hands under open sky. Irrigation channels murmur faintly, a soft and steady ribbon of water. Green fields spread wide, settled in the gentle warmth of afternoon. Nearby, oxen pull steadily at plows, turned by quiet strength and patience. A woman gathers leafy greens with tender fingers from rich, dark soil. Children chase butterflies, their sunny laughter soft and scattered in light. Farmyard animals move lazily, noses to the calm earth they inhabit. Smoke drifts lazily from small ovens where simple meals begin to cook. The rhythm of planting and tending blends seamlessly with sun and wind. Evening draws flowers closed, folding petals in a final, hushed gesture. A soft song rises from the fields, a lullaby carried on twilight winds. Lanterns glow faintly near small homes resting among fertile, quiet lands. We now move with ease toward the calm court of a modest home. A fire crackles softly, its warmth steady beneath the stone walls. Family members settle comfortably, exchanging smiles and low, gentle words. Cushions pile softly on low benches, inviting rest and close conversation. The scent of olive oil and fresh herbs fills the warm and steady room. A father carves small wooden toys, his fingers patient and skilled. Children play quietly nearby, their laughter soft as the flickering flames. A mother knits wool slowly, her hands weaving tender, familiar patterns. Stories unfold from calm voices, weaving the day's events in whispered threads. Outside, night deepens with the gentle touch of cooling air and stars. This room holds the night's peace, the soft stillness of shared belonging. Let us now drift toward the steady quiet of village pottery. Hands smooth wet clay, shaping gentle curves with practiced, steady motion. Bowls and jars rest patiently, waiting for the sun's warm kiss. The potter's wheel twirls softly, echoing a slow and calm heartbeat. Shadows lengthen and mingle with cool breezes in shaded courtyards. Earth scents rise faintly, mingling with the mellow warmth of clay. A child traces circles on soft clay, fascinated by the slow change. Quiet times enfold the small workshop, tender and full of soft purpose. The potter hums an old song, steady and comforting in the fading light. Broken pieces from former days are gently gathered for future mending. Evening falls softly beyond open doorways, blanketing the village in calm. Stars peek shyly through the darkening sky's infinite, steady cloak. We drift now toward a kind neighbor's evening, unfolding slowly at dusk. Guests arrive quietly, footsteps hushed on sun-warmed paths among olive trees. Fruit and wine share a humble table lit by low flickering lamps. Smiles pass silently, in the language of shared presence and easy warmth. Dogs rest at feet, their breaths slow and sure in the cooling air. Voices fall into a peaceful hush as night deepens over the gathering. Candles burn with steady flame, casting tender shadows on ancient stones. The neighbor's companionship weaves a calm, comforting fabric through the dark. The gentle passing of time is felt deeply in these quiet circles. Outside, the cicadas drone a soft, endless song under the silvered moon. Now, let us venture toward the distant hills where vineyards grow slow. Vines climb wooden stakes, leaves turning golden in the mellow afternoon. Grapes hang heavy in clusters, pulsing faintly beneath steady sunbeams. Pickers move calmly among rows, their steps trimmed with careful balance. Baskets fill with rich purple fruit, a harvest wrapped in tender light. A quiet breeze carries faint grape scents down through the peaceful valley. At day's end, villagers gather to crush grapes beneath patient wooden presses. The aroma of fermenting fruit drifts faintly, sweet and mellow in air. Lamps glow warmly in small huts where wine barrels rest and breathe. Long nights are filled with gentle fellowship and softly shared stories. Now we turn our gaze toward the gentle weaving of linen cloth. The flax plants wave tenderly in fields brushed by calm morning winds. Workers pull stems carefully, their fingers nimble with long-practiced grace. Bundles dry slowly in sun-washed yards, fragrant with the gift of earth. Inside humble rooms, women spin fibers with small, steady wheels of wood. Threads gather softly, forming the slim and steady web of cloth to come. Sunlight filters through windows, marking the passage of peaceful time. The soft hiss of spooled thread blends with the quiet cadence of work. A child traces fingers across smooth linen, marveling at its steady texture. Spindles turn serenely, weaving a gentle, endless future of fabric. Let us now wander to the tranquil simplicity of a village school. A few children sit nearby, their eyes steady and quietly curious. Scrolls and wax tablets rest gently on wooden desks entered by soft light. The teacher's voice is calm and steady, weaving lessons with tender care. Words and numbers bloom slowly in the tender quiet of morning hours. The air is filled with the faint, steady rustle of turning pages. Stories from older days are passed down in slow, thoughtful cadences. Curious minds grow gently under the watchful calm of patient guides. Outside, birds call softly, mingling with the low murmur of learning. The village hums faintly beyond the open windows and quiet chalkboards. Children pause to drink from a fountain's cool, steady flow nearby. The afternoon fades smoothly into rest, blanketing the school in peace. Now, let us drift back toward the wide, sunlit horizon of the fields. Tall grasses wave quietly, a soft sea under the endless blue above. Farmers labor steadily, bending with pride and care toward the soil's gift. Wheelbarrows carry home the harvest, brown and golden with nature's bounty. Nearby, a well-kept stable shelters horses with calm, knowing eyes. The scent of hay mingles softly with the warm breath of animals. Evening brings a gentle hush over the fields, where quiet feet have passed. Stars begin to twinkle faintly as night's velvet curtain is drawn. The world here holds its breath in calm readiness for another slow day. Let us now glide toward the delicate music of a small village gathering. Lyres and flutes sound softly, their notes weaving through mellow conversation. Elders nod gently, their smiles warm beneath the fading light of day. Young voices join in harmony, steady and clear like a gentle stream. The breeze carries music through olive branches, spreading calm softly around. Candles flicker in shaded courtyards, flickering tender lights in gathering dusk. Dance steps move slowly, feet brushing earth in familiar and tender rhythms. Joyful and quiet, this gathering folds warmly into the soft night air. All around, peace settles like a gentle blanket over the dreaming village. A music ebbs and flows, a sweet lullaby to close the hour. We will now turn to the welcoming calm of a village bathhouse. Warm steam rises gently beneath curved stone arches, hazy and tender. Villagers gather quietly, their voices hushed in the shared, peaceful space. Water laps softly against smooth, moss-lined walls, cool and steady. Brushes glide slowly over skin, each stroke gentle and purposeful. The scent of olive oil and sweet herbs fills the fragrant air. Old stones hold warmth from the fire beneath, steady and calming. A mother holds a child close, rocking slowly beside steaming pools. The quiet hum of water mingles with soft-spoken conversation and laughter. Outside, night spreads delicate shadows across the whitewashed walls. The bathhouse wraps all in its calm, healing embrace before sleep. Now we drift toward the slow ritual of evening prayers at dusk. Small shrines stand quietly on hillsides, wrapped in tender, steady light. Families gather softly, hands folded and eyes closed in gentle peace. Incense curls faintly, drifting among olive trees and over stone paths. Whispers blend into the twilight, steady and kind as falling leaves. Lanterns glow with warm light, marking the pathway home through fading day. The air is filled with the soft murmur of shared hopes and thanks. Quiet devotion holds the village in a calm and steady rhythm. Stars begin to watch over all, steady and serene in the dark sky. We now move gently into the stillness of moonlit countryside fields. Silver light spreads across wildflowers, blanketing the night in tender glow. Crickets sing low, their steady rhythm a hum beneath the cool breeze. A lone owl calls softly, its voice weaving through the calm darkness. Soft shadows pool beneath olive trees, deep and steady in the night. The earth exhales slowly, wrapped in the breath of ancient gentle dreams. Near a quiet path, wild herbs nod faintly in the gentle night air. All is hushed and waiting under the watchful eyes of twinkling stars. The moon rises steadily, casting silver light on the sleeping land. We glide now toward the tender care of village herbalists at work. Bundles of dried flowers hang patiently from wooden beams in shaded rooms. The scent of chamomile and sage weaves quietly through warm air. A woman mixes powders with calm hands, turning slowly over shallow bowls. Her work is steady, each herb chosen with gentle and knowing fingers. Sunlight dwindles through windows, softening the colors of roots and leaves. Healing waters drip slowly into clay jars, gathering warmth and strength. Quiet moments are spent reading old scrolls beneath flickering candlelight. Family members watch with quiet trust, wrapped in the calm of care. Outside, night deepens gently, folding all inside soothing darkness. Let us drift toward the modest, steady craft of farming potters. Clay is gathered from riverbanks with slow, patient hands before dawn. Loaves of freshly kicked earth wait quietly near woven baskets of grain. Potters shape bowls and cups slowly, weaving water and earth together. Soft rock shelves hold drying ware, glowing warmly in the mellow sun. The scent of fresh-cut wood mingles with earth, rich and familiar. Villagers visit quietly, choosing humble vessels for daily use at home. The potter's smile, it's calm and steady as he passes out his work. Evening falls on fields and workshops alike, turning all toward restful peace. We now gently travel to a humble fisherwoman's quiet early morning. Her boat rests patiently by the water's edge, reflecting faint morning hues. She untangles nets slowly, her hands deft and tender in the rising light. The scent of sea meets gentle grass in the cool, still air. Sunrise touches softly on her weathered skin and worn wooden oars. The village still sleeps as she moves with calm determination. Her basket fills with newly collected shells and sea plants, shimmering wet. Returning quietly, she hums a tune steady and wrapped in simple hope. The morning light grows steadily, inviting new warmth to the day's soft start. Her home awaits with fire and fresh bread, warm and patiently prepared. Let us now drift toward the steady and tender routines of weaving cloth. Fibers stretch quietly across looms beneath canopies filtering dappled sunlight. Women sit closely, fingers threading yarn with gentle and practiced care. Threads catch faint specks of gold as sunlight moves slowly through woven strands. Cloths grow steadily, layer upon layer, soft and steady as breathing. Conversations wander softly, threading stories with the rhythm of passing days. Children watch silently, eyes wide with curiosity and calm admiration. The scent of flax and dyed wool fills the cool air steadily. Evening falls softly on roofs and open yards, full of tender work. Hand-woven scarves and shawls wait patiently for the cool night's end. We move now to the peaceful, slow gathering of olives at dusk. The orchard rests quietly as hands pick steadily beneath fading daylight. Olives settle gently in baskets, the muted colors steady and warm. The air is rich with the faint, steady aroma of earth and oil. Workers pause softly, sharing quiet smiles before returning to their humble task. Twilight wraps branches softly, folding the harvest in calming shade. Nearby, lanterns glow faintly, lighting paths back to welcoming hearths. The night promises rest beneath a sky deep and steady with stars. We move gently now toward the calm pace of village scholars' evening. Scrolls and tablets gather softly, their edges worn smooth by steady use. Quiet voices share ideas in slow, thoughtful exchange by firelight. Elder scholars listen carefully, their eyes reflecting flickering flames warmly. Lessons weave slowly through the night, building gentle steps of understanding. Outside, the village hushes in reverent peace beneath an endless sky. The soft night air carries whispers of knowledge passed down with care. This tranquil pursuit holds a delicate, steady beat of quiet dreams. Let us now turn toward the fading warmth of a village tavern. Tables rest patiently beneath wooden beams bathed in mellow candlelight. Old friends sit quietly, their talks slow and filled with gentle laughter. Steaming cups of honeyed wine offer soft comfort to waiting hands. The hum of low voices blends with the crackle of a small fire. Hearts settle softly into an evening woven with peace and reunion. The door creaks softly as night deepens, closing out the calm streets. Outside, lanterns burn steady, guarding the slow dreams of quiet homes.